Good morning, my friends. It is Thursday morning, which means Inspirational Thursday with myself. My name is Liz, and I'm here to hopefully inspire you to make something beautiful. So I will be working with the Fairy Glade Moonshadow Valley metal die set. This is from Crafter's Companion, and it is the really, really cool sort of like tunnel inspired die. So here's what it looks like in the package. And it actually comes with 4 different pieces. So we have this little frame. Then we have this piece here. So when you go to cut these, I use my Scotch removable tape, and I will just sort of tape them together on my paper before I run it through my machine. So there's one layer. Then, actually, yeah, one layer. Then I will repeat the process. So this will be my second layer. And again, I just sort of tape it into place. And then for this one, I just put it in the center, tape it, run it through the machine. I would show you guys, but I actually fell on the weekend. I took Conrad sledding on Friday and I wiped out and I hurt my hand. So I'm not going to run it through the machine today, but hopefully you get the idea. So basically you just line these up in the center of this beautiful frame piece and cut them accordingly. Oh goodness. And then you will end up with 3 different pieces. Now, I use different color cardstock, but you end up with a piece that looks like this, a piece that looks like this, as well as a piece that looks like this. Fun fact about these pieces, you don't have to use them all together. You could use, for instance, this piece to do a really cute baby card with. And just fill it up with like little baby clothes and onesies. Good morning, Liz. This one also very, very charming. So again, you could just stamp a sentiment or something in there and embellish it. And it would be really, really cute. And then same thing with this one. You could use this, make a scene, blend a background. So you don't have to use them all together, but they look amazing when they are layered together as well. So that's what we'll be doing for today. Now I did play around with this set earlier because I was just so excited when it came in. So I created this card here using different blues as well as a white sort of sparkle, and then I blended a background with a little moon. Totally optional. For this card, I used some of the beautiful fairy paper that we have from Paper Rose. And Conrad's obsessed with mushrooms, so I had to use the mushroom house in the background. And then I just used different pieces of it as well as the white glitter to sort of create a scenescape that way. So no background doing necessary. And then we're going to be making one like this today. So and I blended a background again. I used a moon in this one, but I think for today, we're just going to keep it simple. Just do a blended background. And I will show you guys how to layer everything and put it all together. So without any further ado, I used the frame piece to also cut just a blank piece of Nina cardstock that I'm going to be blending a background on. So I chose the colors Mustard Seed from my Distress Ink stash, Wild Honey, and Picked Raspberry. So let's get started, shall we? So the cool thing about this is because it's such a tiny window that you're actually going to be seeing, it doesn't matter if your background is perfect or not. So it's a great opportunity to practice your blending skills. So when I'm blending, I like to start off the page. And I just like to do circles. And I always sort of try to keep my background light. And then I can always go in and add more color. So just nice and light and flowy is my goal. I'm going to do quite a bit of yellow for my background. Ta-da! Poor you. Ouch. Thanks, Tiffany. I'm actually, it looks so much better. Over the weekend, it was really sore, but I'm okay. Like I said, the cranking portion of today's episode had to be left out. So I hope you don't mind. I did pre-cut my pieces. Next, I'm going to go in with some picked raspberry up at the top here. So again, I like to start off and just add color little by little. And I feel like this gives off like a sunset vibe with the yellow and the pink. We're going to add some orange in between. So you can go as soft or as dark as you want to go. You can use different colors as well. The fun thing about this specific die is it actually looks cool even if you just did all 3 layers in the same color. Because when you build it up, you sort of get that different dimension, different layers. So it's a very user-friendly die, which I appreciate. I don't know why I want my pink a little darker. And then last but not least, I'm going to go in with the wild honey just to create sort of an orange streak in the middle as well. Really sort of blend the two together a little bit. There we go. So yeah, if you have fun patterns at home that you want to use to sort of peek through, that is totally encouraged. But now all I have to do is build my layers up, and we have this stunning little scene. So all I do to build them up is I take the first layer, which is sort of the biggest one, and my pop dots or foam dots. And I always like to use more dots than less dots, just to keep it sturdy, but that's totally optional. You don't even have to use foam dots if you're doing this. Like, realistically, they look very cool flat as well. So if you want a flat card that you can mail, you could do that too. I like dimension, so this is the kind of card I would probably give to someone in person. I like to see their reactions. And for this first one, I'm actually gonna double layer my pop dots because I really want it to like pop out from the background. I notice when I watch a lot of videos, people call these foam dots, but I've always called them pop dots because they make your stuff pop. Comment what you guys call them. There we go. Just gonna add a second layer so it looks really, really cool, and it will sort of stand off the page when we stick it together. You don't have to be perfect, so you're not gonna see these. Oops. There we go. So just like that, I'm just gonna do my best to sort of line everything up. And already you can sort of see the dimension happening, which is very, very cool. If you wanted to, you could glue the stars down, but I like them sort of floating around in space. And because I have a little overhang, I'm just gonna use my paper trimmer and cut that before we keep going. Maybe do it off camera. There we go. So now it's all one size. I feel like for this background, I mustn't have used the frame, because if I did, it would all be the same size, but that's neither here nor there. So for the next layer, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm just going to add one layer of pop dots, I think. So again, if you're creating one of these yourselves, you might want to double up on each layer. Have that really, really cool sort of tunnel effect. You could even frame these and like put them in a shadow box and add fairy lights. But I just think this is one of the coolest dies. Like I said, I love how you can use the different layers interchangeably. So you don't have to build a tunnel card if you don't want to. I think that is really, really cool. I'll just line these up so we can admire them as we work. Maybe not. There we go. So yeah, like I said, for this one used fairy paper because it is inspired by a fairy, what do they call this? Fairy Glade. It's very cool. So yeah, here we go, adding on our second layer, just like that. And then last but not least, we're gonna go in with our third layer. Again, you could just stick it directly on top, but I am going to be trimming my pop dots a little bit and then adding them on just in key areas like the corners. Trim them down a little bit more. Thanks, Trish. I'm really pleased with how fun and simple this is to make, but it looks like $1 million. Like probably one of my favorite little projects I've made in a while. So I'm also impartial to like fairies and things like that. So it's a really cute set. If you guys like anything that I'm using in today's video, feel free to check it out. We have a whole Inspirational Thursday section on our website, www.classac.ca. Click on Inspirational Thursday shop and then Inspirational Thursday, and then you will find all of the materials that I've used listed. So for this one, you just want to make sure you have the grass down at the bottom. And then you want to tack it on like so. Maybe I need one more pop dot there. But this is the final result. So you get this really cool sort of tunnel effect. And then all you need to do to make it a card is just take a background or like a piece of cardstock. I did happen to use 12 by 12 just because it is a larger die. It is approximately hang on, we're gonna lift my camera up so I can measure it. It's approximately 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. So, like I said, I did use 12 by 12 for the background, and then I just cut it. And then what I didn't do is cut another little section to write in this card, but you get the idea. And then for these two, I don't think I turned them into cards yet. I just kept them as like card fronts, but they're really, really pretty. You could also just flip them over and write your little message on the back. So it doesn't necessarily have to open up. But there you go. All right, well, that was quick and easy. Thank you guys so much for joining me for today's session. I hope you guys really enjoyed it as much as I did. Like I said, this die set is really, really fun to work with and magical and interchangeable, and I can't say enough good things about it. So if you're having a dull day, pull out some dies and do some cool things, and have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!